Thank you for joining us today, Koyana. We'd like to do a very quick land acknowledgement and thank the Pichin people for caretaking this land from time immemorial. Also, we'd like to say Koyana Shinak to the Phoebe Hearst Museum, to Natasha and Melissa, who helped us today immensely, and for the last couple of days that we've been here. It's been an emotional time for Jessica and I. We've seen some amazing pieces here in the collections. We've reached out to some of you about these pieces, and perhaps we'd like to see some of these return home, as would the museum itself. And so thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Here through a personal artist grant that I received from the Evergreen State College. So to recognize Evergreen as well, the House of Welcome. I'm so grateful that they gave me this artist grant, and then I just wanted to share it with Heather and all of you, because we all need to be able to see these things, and we all need more access to these items. This was collected on Kodiak. We don't know where on Kodiak, but it is beautiful, and it is beautiful on both sides. If anyone wants to pipe in with anything that they think about this, or insights that they're having as they look at this, go ahead and pipe up. Like, I know that we've got April in the call, and maybe Alicia and some other folks. So it could be wonderful to have your thoughts about these things as well. So you can see the bugs kind of ate at it a little bit, but this one also has that, I think it's molybdenite. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. That was rubbed in. I've heard that the black is achieved with blood, but is it known to be something else, April? So yeah, you can kind of see the white is caribou hair that was wrapped around that. Yes.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah. And then the very edge of this bag is fabric mixture, but some paints did use blood. Okay, gotcha. And then April, do you know if it's molybdenite? I was pretty sure that that's what it is. But that would be interesting to know too. And then if you want to focus or maybe move the bag around so that we see a different part of the bag.
Yeah, can you hear me? I think it is molybdenite that was often used in this sort of shiny black paint on some fabric items.
And so you can
round up and bound with something, but I'm really not an expert on that. So please don't quote me on any today.
Well, us too. We are not experts, but we, just look around at a lot of museums, so, it's such a privilege and a pleasure to be able to see these things in person. And I hope that like this bag gets to go home soon, so that way more people can get to see it. And, the Anchorage or the Alutiiq Museum could maybe loan it to the Anchorage Museum, and, that kind of thing. So that way more folks get to see it in Alaska. But yeah, amazing. It's amazing. And it's tacked down. And most of the time it's like a running stitch that's used, and then they're tacked. So they use a running stitch and then they tack it onto that running stitch. So using those false embroidery techniques is pretty awesome. You want to flip it real quick so that they can see that the other side has a different pattern. So this pattern is pretty awesome on the other side here. And you can, because it's a little bit more broken, you can really see that those white fibers are the caribou. Probably.
Any questions?
Yeah, does anyone have questions about this one, or do you want to see more? And feel free to talk.
This is April again. So the label on this said Alutiiq, but it was collected in Kodiak. Is that correct? Aleutian Islands. Okay.
Oh, Aleutian Islands. I think they don't know. So what happened was the collection got moved in what year, Natasha?
It got moved. It got given to the museum in 1903.
Okay, in 1903 it was moved, but then all of the records for everything burned in the fire in San Francisco.
Museum, collected by the commercial company.
Oh, right, collected by the commercial company. Right. So and then the records of all of where everything came from. So this one for sure is attributed to Kodiak, but the other one is definitely Kodiak too. So I think that there could be some argument there for that, right? And we've tried to pull, April, all the things that are specifically attributed to Kodiak to show today. So here's another bag
amazing. It's a littler bag. The stitching on this is unreal, like unbelievable. So could you focus down into it again? Because you can see it's like the pertiniest stitches, so small. But yeah, it's amazing.
And what
There
would
you go.
these bags be used for? Do you know?
I think some of them are attributed to hunting, some of them are attributed to tobacco pouches. I don't really know.
Oh, hi.
Cap-
I was just wondering what the scale was. Like I
It's
saw the ruler
pretty
to the side.
small. Yeah, this one's maybe like 5 inches or something.
Okay.
So, and those are
Those are centimeters.
centimeters that are
Oh,
there.
okay. Okay, cool.
So it's maybe it's six inches-ish,
Okay, cool.
6
Thank you.
inches in height, and then a little bit longer, 7 maybe, for
Okay,
the length of it. It's a tiny little bag, but it is so
It is.
sweet. And then it's hard to tell, but the carrying strap is sinew that's been, I think this one's braided, right? Yeah. Yep. And they laid in wool into the strap. If you want to put a little tiny part of the strap, there you go. Isn't that just so great? And then some of the straps have feathers. Yeah, let me keep track of that.
It's 5 by 5.5. That's the size of it.
All right, I'm gonna do the next one.
Could you also tell us the year of acquisition? And
Well,
1898 is typical for, it's the Alaskan Colonial Company was in that area, like 1890-ish to 1910, but they transferred the collection before that, so.
okay. So here's one.
Uh-oh.
It's not gonna be nearly as good because it's just on my computer, but you can really see that molybdenite. And then this patent leather cutout. And it's a little chunky. Like it's not as fine a work as some of the other bags, like the little bag that we just saw. And there's nothing on the back of this one. What did you call this? A hanging pouch or a wall pouch? A wall pocket. So apparently those were super popular trade items and they were just popular in that time frame for people. And it would have been hung on the wall this way, which is why, because if this was a bag and this went down, there would be nothing. You wouldn't see anything. So, okay, can you see them?
I'll fold it.
oh, that is my favorite little hat. Look
Isn't
at
it
those
adorable?
cute little eyeballs.
And they're bougie necklaces.
Oh
This one
my,
is
they got
attributed
little
to the-
necklaces.
This
Oh,
one's
oh,
attributed
oh.
to the Aleutians. Yeah, they do have necklaces and it's so funny. And they have little mouths.
Yes.
It's pretty hilarious. And then
Yes, they're
right
all-
in the top, and she'll be able to show you this better later. But you can see can you see that little fluff?
Yeah,
Some little maybe eagle down. And it comes straight out of the Amitaducs. The backside, the Amitaducs have been done into strips, and then it's like painted with some sort of red dye. I don't think it's ochre. Maybe it could be. It's just very vibrant. But yeah, little red heart beads on these guys. All right, so here we are, back to that bag, and there we go. There you go, upside down. There it is. Perfect. And so it has that like white texture because it's winter tanned. Or white color, so it's not see-through. Think maybe it's long. Anybody who has an opinion otherwise, like please pipe up.
It says it's.
it might be pericardium.
Pericardium.
Like stomach
Heart.
Yeah, the tissue around the heart.
Mm.
Just because of the shape.
Yeah, it's very big, like bigger than, but maybe it's from a giant thing that has a really big heart.
Also, it is pieced together.
It is pieced together. Yeah, so that's totally possible because it is pieced together.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can see those little stitches. Look at those bitty boo stitches. You just can't even express how small those are. It makes me feel very inadequate in my sewing. And what in the world were they using for needles, I got a little chewed on. Some little critter.
We see
right.
1898, 1890. I think they had switched over to imported needles.
Oh yeah, probably. Right. Oh, this one's lovely. This one's also from Kodiak. What's its number? What's its number, Heather? What's the number?
2-580.
88005. Okay, so this was attributed to Alutiiq Kodiak Eskimo. Collection date unknown, but probably again that same time period because most of this stuff is coming from that time period. And it has a lot of things that it says what it is. We can just see that for ourselves. Yeah, I gotta go closer to it because I can't see what's going on here. So there's seal. And then there's lots of bits of yarn, of different types of yarn. And then they would take the yarn apart and use that to wrap around the middle pieces as well as caribou hair. So all of the white parts is caribou hair wrapped around like 2 strings. Sometimes, so like all the loops is 2 strings. And you could see that on the first bag that we looked at, right? Because some little bug had lovingly eaten away all of the caribou bits, all the caribou hair. So then it allowed us to see what was the underlying structure underneath there. And often in these, like at this point, whenever these were collected, it seems to be a trade thread that they were using. Sometimes it's sinew, but a lot of times it's trade thread. You can really see this one has a good amount of the molybdenite on it. So you can really see the sparkles. It's pretty awesome. Look how great. Yep. She's going to flip it over. So this one I think is pretty much the same on both sides. Oh, look, you can see the little ceramic bead. And then look at this person was so bougie and extra. Heather noticed this. They put yarn, little yarn bits into the, oh wait, I can't see it now. Into the, oh, there you go. Into the very end knot.
Oh, yeah.
With the, yeah, isn't that so cute? I don't know. I feel like me and this person are on a level. It's pretty fun. We also have seen some things that weren't attributed to the same person, but you can so clearly tell that the same person made it. Not this, but there's some little pouch and some boots. We didn't bring the little pouch out, I guess, to go with the boots, but yeah. So Heather's keeping us rocking and rolling so that we're continuing to share more and more of these items. What's this one's number?
2-580.
503. The page. Oops. We checked this before. So this one again is attributed to Kodiak. Its height is 16 centimeters. Its width is 21.7 centimeters. So it's a bit bigger. It's got feather and colored string. So, and most of the string appears to be wool. And it has fringe. So it has gut fringe on 3 sides. And the insert, they say it's dyed brown gut, but it's not. It's it looks to me to be some sort of like trade, and it's almost purple. It's almost purple. It's like a really dark purple color. It's to me, I don't know if That's how it would look to everybody else, but I think Heather and I agree. And then the yellow in the middle, that's wool. Then the white in the X's is caribou, and then the wool again with the blue, it's a blue color there. And then you can see the cormorant feathers if we kind of bouge it down. Oop, other way. Yeah, it's the opposite of what you think. So there's, and then they also laid in some other feathers as well when they did this. It's pretty spectacular. This is an amazing, amazing bag. All right, ready? Let's go. Let's go. Sorry, guys. We're just gonna like booge through these as quick as we can.
Opinion on.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you talk about it since you remember what we're wanting to ask about it. Oh, right.
So
I
this
remember.
number is 5813. 13. So this is 5813
Or 25813.
Oh, 25813. It's a slightly bigger, larger bag, and we were just curious if anyone has an opinion. It's 18 centimeters by 21 centimeters. It's from Kodiak. We were wondering if anybody had an opinion on what the white material would be there. It is very thick and kind of almost spongy.
Yeah, it's different. When you pinch it between your fingers, it's thicker. Pipe up, anybody?
Would anybody think it's just esophagus?
Esophagus.
Yeah,
maybe?
we thought maybe it was winter tanned esophagus, but y'all, we want to hear what you have to say. There's an up close of it with a little grody boo stain. That stain's kind of gross, but and look at those tiny stitches. My word. I love them. Anybody? No one? I know. We felt kind of the same. Andrew Abayo, we were hanging out with him yesterday and he thought maybe this was throat. Winter tan throat. All right. So now we'll do next.
How many stitches per centimeter?
A lot. I mean, it's like a stitch per millimeter about.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's really small. So like 10.
That's-
You know, and then some of the bags, and they're not all made the same, right? Some of these had just the finest work, and then some of them were way more
4 or 5 pieces.
like what I would do.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, it makes you judge yourself pretty badly. What is it?
So this is, I think, is it 4530? Doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Never mind. Doesn't change. So this is an even larger bag.
4530. So 4530. Again, we're trying to show things that are mainly attributed to, we know that they're Alutiiq. So this is Kodiak. So this they're saying is a pouch that would have been used to store women's sewing articles in. But they're saying that this is white reindeer hair. So maybe it depends on when it was done, right? And you can see that it's seal. Again, maybe like throat. Again, winter tanned. So that's when you put it out in freezing temperatures in the wind and freezing weather. And then I don't really know the science behind this, but I guess that it broke the cell structure. And so then that's how it ended up white, as opposed to the summer tan, which when you see that like on the parkas is see-through. Although there's a parka here that's winter tan. It's pretty amazing. Can you back up so they can see the whole thing again?
Yeah.
So there's that one. It's quite amazing. So again, for April, it's 24530.
So the reindeer would be imported because reindeer wasn't introduced to Kodiak until 1921.
Right. Or caribou, right? Or if it's caribou hair, it would have been traded for, right? So either which way, it's a trade. So this is a lovely little bag. It's really hard kind of to see the little pattern that they put in with their stitches. But there's a little, like a little, like peaked pattern all the way around, like a little triangle pattern, but it's not quite a triangle. Do you see how it's a little bit more like mountain peaks? Right? Because it runs into the kind of the middle of the right side of the other triangle. So it makes me think of mountain peaks. And then this, we lovingly refer to this stitch because we took a class with Susie Balutin and she taught this stitch in her class at the Alutiiq Nation Festival a couple years ago during the pandemic. And so we call that false embroidery stitch, where it goes back and forth underneath a running stitch, the Susie Balutin. But that's how we always talk about that. But there's that right there. And then that's obviously seal on the outside edge. And again, that winter tanned gut. And then probably, I don't know, maybe summer tan, but then it's dyed or painted. Some of these are painted on and some of them appear to be like immersed dye. All right, here's another one. Ooh, this is Heather's favorite. I'll let Heather talk about it.
This is my favorite bag. It's a little work bag.
And it comes from Kodiak.
It comes from
Kodiak.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
Got it.
well
Oh, yeah.
very used. The number is 2-3022. It's not decorative, but it was very utilitarian. It is colored on the edge backside, so I'll flip it over real quick. See, it has a binding on it, and it's been dyed red on that binding. It's a small bag.
Yeah.
And it does have pockets like we see in a lot of the PNWACC. It's got a pocket here. I don't know if you can see me or not. And then a pocket up here as well. It's just my favorite little bag that we've found so far.
Alutiiq. Is that how you say that? April, correct us. But that's where this is from. And it's delightful and it was used.
Yeah.
Someone really used this.
And then this one is a puff and beak rattle with beads. It's 216885, and it has a lot of pieces that are in a bag because it's very fragile.
Yeah, we'll let them do this. And so this one that she's about to put down is wrapped in like trade cloth, so like a just regular cloth, but it's entirely wrapped in cloth, and then just using regular string is how the person sewed the puff and beaks on with the cobalt Russian trade beads and red white hearts. They're beautiful, just lovely. And the texture, because I'd never actually touched a puff and beak before, or handle. I didn't really touch it, obviously, who have gloves on, but it's like almost like a fish scale. It's like so fragile, and it makes this little tinkly. Anyway, thank you, April. It makes a little tinkly noise, which is just so different. Like we just taught the rattles at camp, and we use shells, which have like a very strong sound, and this would have been just such a light sound when they clinked together.
Yeah.
We'll share that.
Do you want me to get up close to these guys?
Yeah, let's get up close and take a little bit of a closer look at these. Only one crossbar on these. And I think some of them are from Carluck, right? And one just has one ring and the other ones have the 2 rings. So I don't know, just really lovely and beautiful. And maybe we could bouge them around slightly so people can see. I know, hard. They're so fragile. There you go. So you can see a little bit better what's going on with these. They're just lovely and so surprising and a little bit smaller than we thought. Yeah, let's do this one next, maybe, because it's a part of the rattles. And this one's attributed to Kodiak, right? Yes, it is. I think everything is pretty much, or the peninsula. This one's Kodiak. So this one's very special. And then we'll bring that one into view so you could see that it was definitely a rattle. It's round, it has a single crossbar. It's painted red and maybe ochre. And then it's probably cottonwood. It's very light. The number is 26470. And look at that. Isn't that fascinating? Yep. And then maybe you could stand it up so that they can see the edge of it, how that was constructed. Oh, yep, it's a little bit out of focus now because of that. Sorry.
300 job.
I know, right? Like, there you go. Heather's got you if you need help. So you can see it was like one solid piece that then has, must be a well dug out inside of it. It's white on one side, red on one side. And so really white on three sides and then red on just the top surface. And then it has little bits, who knows what it is inside of it, but it sounds like rain or like a beach with a lot of pebbles. It's lovely. You can click your focus button again.
Give them the number on that.
Yes. Numbers are over here though.
It is 2 dash, oh, that's right, they didn't have it, 66470.
This one was collected in Kodiak and then got, you can see on the tag a Tlingit attribution, but it was collected on Kodiak. And then maybe move your focus point. Yeah, that's so interesting, huh? How that is neat. And again, if anyone wants to like pipe in, look at that. What do you think that is, anybody?
I was just gonna ask what kind of animal people think that is. It's got legs. Is it an alligator?
It's amazing.
Bear.
And there's a few form line items. Maybe we could do the
I know,
dagger.
it's, huh?
Maybe we could do the dagger next after these ones.
Yeah, we're gonna do the tools and then we'll
Okay.
do the dagger.
All right. Sorry that we're like trying to move through these so fast. So these are 24496 and 26881 for if you want to look them up in the collections. Again, hooks. These are ivory and they're lovely. And thank you to Natasha and Melissa for being so flexible and like trying to make something. I was like, hey, could we do this Zoom thing? And they were like, well, we've never done that, but let's give it a whirl. So here we are. Appreciate them so much.
Seeing extra bark from
Mm-hmm.
here.
Right? Amazing. Okay. So this one, anybody who has any insight on what this could possibly be, help us out. What is this? So you might, oh, there you go. I think you've almost got the whole thing in the frame. There you go, right like that. what is it? It's got kind of, it's a little serrated on the end, that has more going on. Yep, this end, there we go. And then the point end was definitely used. It used to be rubbed in what I would think would be ochre. It's all wood. Yes, April, it's all wood. What is it though? It's painted black on one side. It has a stripe of red ochre. Then it has a plain stripe that kind of makes it ostensibly like white, but it's not painted white. And then it's red ochre for the rest of it. It has the two holes in the center right there. Oh, it's so hard because it's so dark.
It is.
Chip it. Maybe it's that because we chose the surface. We should have done more of a gray. But yeah, so if you have any ideas about what that is, pipe right up because everyone wants to know. Even Andrew was like, "Huff, that has to be a tool of some kind," but he was like, "I just need to go down and look at it so I can really see it."
Or maybe a ceremonial.
Or yeah, there you go. You can really see that now.
You can see the color pattern.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do the next one.
Okay, this is the next one.
This is a really amazing. It's a dagger. Look at that. Like that's a whale, probably. Yes. I don't know. Could be whale, could be a seal, I guess. His
Yeah,
tail
this
looks
is
like whale.
This is the one that I personally found one of the most scary objects in the collection. I
Well,
believe
yeah,
that
I didn't
that
touch the hair myself.
yeah,
Like I
I think
touched the
it's
metal
human
parts, but not the
hair.
hair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's definitely human hair. I was like, no, we'll just leave that. But
Yeah. Ugh.
I sent a screenshot to our curators. The chief curator had no idea on the Allwood item. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Who knows? Okay. And let's see if we can get this in better focus. So it has a face at the top that's cut out. Yep.
This reminds me of what was called a slave killer.
It just,
Mm-hmm. We're here.
yeah.
Even with the metal, they're still using the same circular motifs that would have been used in other materials in the past.
I think it's just,
It's this one's just attributed to Alaska, so it could be a Nupiak, but it's pretty amazing. So this is a carved figure. Oop, where are we? There we go. It's a polar bear, and then he has human legs that kind of acted like a clacker. It's fascinating how it's put together. So if anyone wants to see more, yeah, maybe a shaman's dagger, yeah, for sure. So this is, yeah, the handle is made out of ivory. But we just thought it was fascinating. And then fascinating how it goes together. It's bent wood. It has a super deep groove that's a bit wider and deeper than what we do or contemporarily, right? That everybody does, right? Like kind of the Aussie method. And then when it was wrapped around, the sinew was wrapped around in the groove, it's several times, not just 2 or 3. It's more than that, maybe 5.
Yeah.
It's quite a few times. Okay, go ahead. Oop. It's so hard because we can't quite show you what that little guy looks like. And so I think it would be too hard to focus. So maybe I could post pictures later. So on the same note, for the dagger, we've got this with the like what you're talking about. Those they're not whole. These are from Kodiak. So and they would have been traded and then for the horns and then carved. And then let's show you this. Look at that. It's a moon. And then what are the numbers on these? 472, 4748.
and 4
And 49.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to see this. But there's a figure there that's carved.
12 minutes.
I know. So you can see this is Kodiak. The number is 23024. Yep, there's some incised design in it. It's like a cross. Red ochre. And there's stuff I think on the backside too, is there? Yeah. Yeah. You can kind of see that. That's amazing. So that was part that we're going, so.
Yeah.
Real quick, we're gonna share this. It's a hunting scene. This is from Kodiak. The hunters have little earrings on and they all have little faces.
This might like a little under the camera after we're done here.
Yeah. And there's little sea otters in the middle, and it's a hunting scene depicting how they would have done things. Andrew had lots to say about this. Each of these little boats has
Stitchy marks too.
yep, stitching marks, and then that also has birds or otters on the side. So this one is sea otters on the side of this one. This one has little birds. Oh, so hard. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Hey, little buddy.
Oh.
Ow. So those are little birds that are attached to his boat. But everybody has the little figures that are attached to their boat. They're all attached on the right-hand side. And then and there's little incised marks for where the stitching would be. And then we'll take that down and show it really quick. Okay. We're gonna go over time a little bit. The face on the sea otter is phenomenal. Everybody has a different little hat. Everybody has different expressions. So Andrew was telling us that the guy on the far left.
Oh, I left.
Yep, your left. In the back there with the oar, the paddle up, he would have been saying, hey, we spotted them. And then everyone would have come to that person to surround them and wait for them to surface. So it would have been that he spotted the bubbles. So I'm sharing what Andrew shared with us yesterday.
Oh,
Yep,
bow
and
arrow
there's the
was
guy with the bow
sideways.
and arrow, and you did that sideways. And then Andrew was also saying that, yeah, it might have had a scoop on it, or
No, that was for the deer.
Oh,
This one was
duck.
a duck. This one was projected up and then down, so it came out an arc to give them.
Wow.
The skipping one?
Hmm?
The skipping one?
No, yeah, that would have been for ducks. I'm mixing stuff up. Sorry, everyone. I'm all excited. But yeah, look at his little earrings.
Okay, so this
And all the
cap
different
is
hats, all different types.
19.
And you can see the birds really well. Well, they're a little not in focus, but they're still
219167.
great. It's a cap. It is attributed to Kodiak Island. It's phenomenal.
I show the backside.
And this is similar to how other ones that we've seen at the Berkeley Museum and other places are pieced together. You know, kind of using the constraints of the width of gut. You can see it's just a running stitch putting it together on the inside, so that's fun to be able to see the insides. This one is the next one is 219166. They're saying that this is Aleutian Isles, but the other tag says Kodiak. So there's a historic tag that says Aleutian Islands. And then there's another one that says Kodiak. Let's stick this in the pictures. Oh, right. This is phenomenal. This is some super, super, super fine work. There you go. Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing. This one is 26679, another cap. This one is some fancy bougie business. For real, for real. It's so amazing. It's got lots of the wool inlaid. It's got kind of like false embroidered teeny tiny stitches, black and red wool. The kind of tufted puffed wool is red and blue. On the edge of it, the side of it, it's cormorant feathers, which you can't see right now, but we'll show you in a sec. There's lots of the eagle down on this one. It's just pretty much amazing. It's that summer tan gut, right? Because you can see through it. Yeah, you might have to go up. There you go. There you go. Now you can see the cormorant feathers. So you can see the cormorant feathers. I showed them that. This is oh gosh, what does that say? 6515B, A and B. These are doll boots. These are made of, I think, dog salmon. Because it's teeny tiny scales. They left the scales on, they did scale side out. A lot of the things that were actually worn, they did scale side in for these.
You may have to use your.
Okay. So it's a little tiny boot, and if you can see the sheen, it's scale side out. This is done more in that where you take the fat out and then you put the fat back in. So it's kind of like a rawhide processing as opposed to like the T-tannin processing. But they're so delightful. And there's a little skirt that was maybe made by the same person. And oh, you can really see it here. Bag, the little sheet. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a little bag that I think goes with these two. It really looks like it's made by the same person. Okay, so they also have from PNWACC, they have this bracelet. So this one's kind of famous, right? We do some, like there's a craft activity that you can purchase from the Alutiiq Museum that is, I think, based on this bracelet. So this was collected in PNWACC. And it's just lovely. And it doesn't have a clasp side to it. It's really hard for you to see this. But it does have, this is 2 pieces of leather on this side. So it's 3 pieces of leather that it goes through. And then it's 2 pieces of leather, oops, sorry, over here. And then it goes through the bead. And when it was strung as a circle. So it wasn't strung flat and then put together, if that makes sense. The sinew, and it is sinew that goes through it, was done continuously, if that makes sense. And then it went through these big beads, which are a little bit bigger than a 6/0. These beads on the edges are 6/0s. I would say that most of the beads in the center are 8/0s. And maybe these red hearts are, you know how red hearts are weird sized. They've always been a little weird sized. But yeah, the blue beads on the outside edge, 6/0s. Oh, I'm so sorry that this is not great. There we go. So this is a bowl. This is a Tribute to Prince William Sound. It's a bird. Sorry, our other camera ran out of battery, so this isn't quite as good. Gotta be really careful here. So it's flat on the bottom. And you can see it's bird face. Like I'm in focus instead of it. If I hide myself a little bit. Or bring it back closer to me. So you can see it better. So Chugach for that. I loved this. This is Kodiak, was collected on Kodiak, and it's a lot of string. And to me, this all appears to be sinew string. There's some other things that we saw that appear to be maybe nettle fiber or something. It's not sinew, but these are all sinew. And I don't know if they were like bird traps or something. Charge. Okay, you guys, this one is pretty phenomenal. This is from Kodiak Island. It's an Umiak model. So there's the Umiak model. They all have little faces. They all have different little hats. You know, we've got the guy, he's got his bow and arrow at the front. He's wearing the little hat like a seal. We've got the captain is sitting in the back, is what the description card said. And he has potlatch rings on his hat. This was collected in Kodiak, and he has potlatch rings on his hat. And it's an Umiak. And when we sent pictures of this Umiak to Andrew, he was just so amazed that an Umiak that he made was able to, it was pretty much the same. The robe is 26690. It has absolutely phenomenal stitching, like the embroidery stitching is amazing. Let's see. Can you focus on this? If I hold it maybe still. Okay, so there's a cuff. Has steel fur just on the edge.
Wool trim. Some embroidery, false embroidery work. Some red paint or dye. These are the cormorant skins that are
The inside, yeah.
Right.
The
And then
flesh side.
between each, if you can sit yours. Between each skin, there is some dyed gut that runs through all of the seams. So this is the feather side of the bird. And then this would be the inside, right? So they wore this one feather side in for warmth. And it has a tiny amount of seal skin trimming.
And then it has the wool,
Mhm.
little wool tufts, and the finest work on the trim. It's incredible fine work on the trim.
There you go. We almost have a camera ready. Well,
Yeah, there might be a better picture here in a second.
and it's pretty large. It's a good size.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that.
And then this is painted or dyed
Mhm.
trim on the edge and also on the cuffs. And then the color is a stand-up color. I don't know.
But thanks for coming, everyone. And we're so excited to be able to see this collection. There's so much more in this collection. Oh, there we go. All right, now. So there's the inside, and you can see the birds, cormorants. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to refocus. And there's that trim. Beautiful. Yeah, I don't know, like it's maybe what? Each thing is 2 millimeters wide.
Sure.
So there you can see that that's like about the total width of it is about 3 centimeters. And each of those things is maybe 2 millimeters. Maybe the thickest one might be 3, the one in the middle. So it's very, very, very fine work. That maybe gives you an idea of the scale, right? And then you can see here, you can see the little worsted bits of wool. It's amazing. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. We're so grateful to the Phoebe Hearst Museum for allowing us to do this. This is like, you know, we're always kind of pushing the edge of things as far as like what we can share on Zoom. But we're so grateful that you guys were able to come. And, you know, hopefully the next time we go somewhere, we'll be able to bring you all with us again. You know, if it's more local, like the Burke Museum, I think we were hoping to do that again this coming winter. So maybe you guys can come and go with us to that. And so we're hoping maybe January or February for the Burke. But We are so grateful that you guys came. If you guys want to pop on, you can turn on your cameras again.